I was walking past Big Tesco where I live in Fulton Heath one time, and it was quite late at night, and there was these kids outside it. As I walked past, one of them just went, "Fucking kike." I'm not even Jewish, you know, bro. And then this guy just went, "Oh, sorry about that, mate." And I'm such a weak piece of a shit man, I just went, "Oh, no worries, bro, happens to the best of us." Makes me wonder what my one's gonna be, you know, as I get older. It's my thing that I'm not gonna be able to keep up with anymore, you know, because it happens. We were too harsh on the boomers. We were. That's gonna be us before we know it. And with my dad. My dad's a smart, switched-on dude. A guy named Mark Still. He's written articles, books, all of this stuff. He reads. I don't do that. Everything I've learned has come from a documentary on YouTube. Nothing even intelligent either. I watch things like Paul Scholes, A Past Masterclass. Within half an hour, I'm on top 5 worst USSR gulags. But my dad's a smart, switched-on, liberal guy. Clever dude. We're watching a game during that Winter World Cup, and out of nowhere, he looked at me and went, "So you see these transgenders?" And I was, "Oh no. Here we go. Mark's GB News origin story's beginning." "Yeah, Dad, right. See, they can use whatever bathroom they want now. Am I going to be in a pub one day? Transgender comes in. I go to the toilet. Transgender also goes to the toilet. I go to the urinal. I'm having a piss. Transgender comes up to the urinal next to me and has a piss out of his vagina." Saudi Arabia are beating Argentina 1-0, and this is what's on your mind. I went, "Look, Dad, it's an identification thing, right? And that whole bathroom argument is blown up online by the far left, far right, used by lazy journalists to generate clicks. It's not a real thing. It's a culture war issue. I know a few trans people. They're sound. They got bigger issues in their life than what bathroom to go to. Credit card debt, taxes to pay, things like that. It's like the toilet at home. That's gender neutral. You ever get on an airplane? That was a gender-neutral toilet. You lived, it was fine. But I think if a trans person was to find themselves in the White Hart in East Croydon, I think they would have the decorum to go and use the actual toilet rather than the urinal for the act you're describing. My dad went, "Oh yeah, suppose you're right." Got back on with his day and just left me sat there with it. I was like, "Oh, fuck, my dad's got to die for the good of the human race." Got to do the noble thing one winter and just go turn the heating off and let nature take its course. But I started thinking, all right, what's my one going to be? What's my thing where I can't keep up anymore? Because my dad's 60, we can't expect him to keep up with everything. And that's going to happen to me. So what's my one? And I figured it out. I know I'm going to do it. Christmas 2060, whole family round, maximum impact. Just as we're about to tuck into our turkey substitute meal. Right before Emperor Xi Jinping's speech. I'm going to look round lovingly at my family and embrace this moment of pure Christmas bliss and just ruin it by going, "Used to call them paedophiles back when I was a boy." My grandkids are going, "No, Grandad, no, they're non-binary age fluid. You're not allowed to call them that anymore. They're fucking nonces, that's what they are." Used to go nonce hunting when I was a boy. You trap one in an Asda car park and you stream it on the Facebook Live. And we had a laugh, the nonce had a laugh, everyone had a laugh, because we had a little thing back then called a sense of humour, and that's how we won the Third World War, thank you very much. I got to, at this point of the show, point out I'm not as right-wing as my look and material makes me come across as. You know what I mean? Like, let's not lie, I got a vibe like I defended a statue in my time. I haven't, but you wouldn't be surprised to see me there, would you? Bunch of me and my boys stood by the Paddington Bear statue, just go, he fucking died for this country! Best Prime Minister we've ever had! I'm actually very left-wing. I was raised on the left. I love the left. It's full of insane people, though. It's crazy. I was brought up in the back of Socialist Workers' Party meetings where you'd hear people shout things like, yeah, they need to share the wealth. Well, of course you think that, Margaret. You make wind chimes for a living. You got no skills. You need some of Jeff Bezos' money. You fucked it. My mum's real left-wing. She's so left-wing, when I was a kid, she banned Monopoly. I was allowed to play Grand Theft Auto, AJ, couldn't play Monopoly. And Monopoly was actually invented as a warning about late-stage capitalism, and I explained that to her on one Christmas. I bought it, got us to play it, me, her, my stepdad, my sister. There's been a lot of arguments over Monopoly, but never the one we had that Christmas, when my mum tried to nationalise the railway stations. My stepdad just going, thank fuck she didn't get the energy companies. When I was 18 years old, I was going on my first lad's holiday. I was going to Amsterdam, right? Paying for it by myself. Told my mum, thinking she'd be excited for me. It's a big moment in my life. First lad's holiday. Told my mum, I'm going to Amsterdam. The first thing my mum said to me, she went, well, I know. I'll have failed you as a feminist and as a mother if you dare sleep with a prostitute. All right, cool. I've been having some internal conflict about that one, but if you're willing to take all the blame, that would really help me out. Very much going above and beyond in your duties there, Mum. It's appreciated. Wow. It's crazy going off on the left. My dad's a comedian as well. I'm from nepotism. Let's not lie. It could be going a bit better. Yeah, you know, I've benefited from having a dad who's a comedian. It's great nepotism. It's not the nepotism that I want. I want some of that, my dad's the CEO of Shell nepotism. Get to go to those weird parties. We all have cigars and then eat a Mexican baby. Wake up the next day with the fear and you're like, fuck, we ate a baby. We're bonded by something bigger than friendship now. Such a fucking stupid joke. It's weird. Having a dad who's a comedian is an odd thing. And I came into stand-up when I was 16 years old, and it was weird because I came into this industry. And a lot of stand-up comedy, the people who run it, they're privately educated, they're very upper middle class. I used to go to meetings with them. And they would go to me, what's amazing about you, Elliot? Is you grew up on a gritty council estate in South London. And despite being scum, you didn't let it hold you back. And now you go up and down the country telling your horrendous stories and bringing mirth to the people, and I'd have to go, I did not grow up on a gritty council estate in South London. I grew up in a lovely semi-detached home opposite a gritty council estate in South London. Yeah, this accent isn't a regional twang, it's a survival tactic. It's hard when you've got a performer in the family because everything's about them. That's what it's all about. That's what my dad's like. He's a comedian. He can only talk about himself. My dad has this amazing ability that whatever conversation you're having, he's going to make it about a show he's just done. It's fucked up. I'm a massive UFC fan, right? I love the UFC. My favourite fighter is a guy named Israel Adesanya. He's incredible. He's a nerd. He's a dweeb, and it resonates with me. He's also one of the best kickboxers who's ever lived. And he was fighting a guy named Alex Pereira, who'd beaten him 3 times. He was going to get his belt back, and I fucking love Adesanya. I stay up to watch him, 5 a.m. in the morning, drug-free, unprecedented in this country. Pure love of the game. And I'm nervous for my boy, because, look, if you don't like fighting or you don't watch it, imagine your favourite tennis player or golfer loses, and they don't just lose, they then get carried out on an oxygen mask. And I was so scared for him, and he's in there and they have this stare down, and the first round doesn't quite go Adesanya's way, and then the second round starts, and they're looking at each other, and Pereira lands one of his famous left hooks against Izzy, and he staggers back against the cage, and Pereira marches him down, goes to knee him in the head, and unloads another left hook, and out of nowhere, Adesanya goes under it, comes over, leans in with a right, hits him, drops him, starts ground and pounding him. He's separated by the ref, he's firing arrows into him in this coldest celebration mixed martial arts has ever seen. I'm losing my fucking mind at this point. My boy's done it. I never gave him a chance, and here he is. The gay thoughts are back in my brain. I'm not fighting him this time. And my dad comes down to see pandemonium. Just chaos, right? I'm in there, I'm topless, just waving it around. 5 in the morning. My dad goes, what on earth is going on here? I go, Adesanya did it! He did it! He beat Pereira, no one gave him a chance. And I show him the replay of Adesanya slipping a hook and coming over and knocking a man out. And my dad looked at that and went, oh, that was like me in Leicester the other night. That's what growing up with a performer's like. I get why my dad is the way he is. I understand it. We've got to be empathetic towards that generation. We don't have therapy talk or any of that. That's new. That's our thing. And my dad was adopted back in the 60s. There was no lookout for the kids back then. You were lucky if the car slowed down on the way past the orphanage. Just volley the baby into the boot. Get the fuck out of here! Anyone could go in and get a kid. Oh, Mr. Saville, good to see you again. How many are you taking this weekend? That's the worst it's gonna get, ma'am. That's the worst it's gonna get. Don't worry. My dad tracked down his natural dad, and we were both very excited about this. Super excited. Not because we give a shit about our history or our lineage. We're too old for that to matter. That doesn't affect us as human beings, because we're both in show business. And I could do with some diversity. I'm a straight white guy, it's boring, you've seen it before. I'm English as well, like... I'll take being Welsh at this point, anything. My dad tracks down his natural dad, and it turned out he was a Syrian refugee. And we were both like, yes! Get in! Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Oh, yeah. And we do a bit more research into it, and it turned out he wasn't Muslim. He was Jewish, and it's like, that's cool, we can still work with this. And then the only thing I could think back to was that guy outside Big Tesco. What an astute man. Yeah. I had no idea I was Jewish. But that brother sniffed me out, didn't he? That guy's sick at Jew hunting, you know? Born in the wrong era, if you ask me. You'd hate to be under a floorboard when he's around. Nah, man. So growing up with a performer in the family leaves you fucked up. My dad would go on tour. I'd be left at home alone on my own devices, just go out, get into trouble, get into fights, use self-harm a lot and things like that. And I carry that into my adulthood. I still fuck up, you know. I've still got a bit of that in me. Like I go out and I sesh too much, all of that stuff. I knew I was a fuck up during lockdown when I met up with my mates over Zoom to do coke. I got a massive nose as well, innit? So anytime the camera would cut to me. Now, as a guy, I got to talk about my mental health a lot. Oh, fuck, man. Is there anything worse? And as a guy, having to talk about your mental health. Sometimes I'm just trying to watch the football. And up pops the men's mental health campaign. They always got to do it in the most patronising of ways, don't they? Send out some big bald guy covered in tattoos. All right, boys. I'm here to have a very serious conversation with you today. Because it's about time we manned up and spoke about it, ain't it? Because I'm here to say it's okay to not be okay. And then they'll say this part, they'll go, if you're ever feeling down or a little bit blue, why don't you reach out to your friends? Are you out of your fucking mind? I can't let those psychopaths know how I feel inside. I'm not even friends with my friends. They've just got too much shit on me. I can't afford to fall out with them. Tried it one time back in 2019, right? I remember it was 2019 because Keith Flint from The Prodigy had killed himself. I thought, oh my God, if this guy's capable of it, maybe one of my friends is. So I opened up my group chat at the time, Magaloof, 2019. Send a sincere message in there. Hey boys, just want to let you know that you're loved, that I care about you, and I cherish all the memories we're making with each other. Can't wait to make so many more this summer. If you're ever feeling down or a little bit blue, feel free to slide into my DMs. Always open for you, lads. Lots of love. Your best pal, Elliot. Send. First reply was, I wasn't thinking about killing myself until I read that. Then the group name changed to Elliot's on Menopause, 2019. But women can make it tough for men as well. I'll hear women say things all the time like, well, the problem with men nowadays is they've all got commitment issues. What is it with men and their commitment issues? Why do so many men have commitment issues? Whenever women like to bring up that men have commitment issues, I just like to bring up male suicide statistics. Looks like we can commit to some things. Just not you, sweetheart. Oh, I lied. That's as bad as it gets. That's as bad as it gets. I'm sorry. If you didn't like that joke, by the way, that's fine. You're allowed to not like jokes. There's nothing I hate more in comedy at the minute than when a comedian comes on stage, says something offensive, someone in the audience feels offensed, which is a totally normal reaction to have to something, and it goes, oh, freedom of speech, fuck you, you're against the art form. No, this is an art form. It provokes emotion. And if that emotion you feel is offense, feel free to feel it. Don't talk to me about it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'll be outside having a smoke or at the bar getting a drink. I feel this cold presence behind me. I turn around. Hi. Hi. Did you enjoy the show? I was. And just before I say this, I want to say that me and my friends have a great sense of humour. But we felt you took it a little bit too far tonight when you did the suicide routine, because we got a friend, Nathan, who several years ago, unfortunately, took his own life. We didn't mind the Holocaust stuff because we don't know anyone who died in that, so fuck them. But for you to go on stage and poke fun at such a horrific and triggering experience that we've been through, it's horrible. And I've got to go, oh my God, ma'am, I'm so sorry. I'm not like the character I sometimes portray on stage. I'm actually quite a shy, introverted, nerdy individual who just likes watching anime and old UFC fights and things like that. But in my head, what I'm thinking is, well, maybe if you wasn't such a dull cunt, Nathan could have reached out to someone. I try to look after my mental health. I try. I like fighting martial arts, that's my thing. I'm not any good at them. I've done them for about 11 years, I'll give it a go. I love martial arts. I met some of the most interesting, introspective people I've ever met through martial arts. Also met some of the biggest fucking idiots in the world through it. Insane people. Turn up to the gym, they ask you how you are, how you feeling today, Elliot? I'm a little bit depressed, and I'll say things like, depression doesn't exist. Every time you're depressed, why don't you do some burpees? All right, now I'm sad and tired. Full of people sharing Dave Goggins videos. That's what it is. Meet some guy who works at Foxton's. Gets into ice baths and Dave Goggins. That's what jiu-jitsu gyms are like. If you don't know Dave Goggins, right, he's a former Navy SEAL who runs 200-mile ultra marathons instead of dealing with his PTSD. There's this famous video where after he ran a marathon, he then went and started bench pressing 100 kg. He's done like 30 reps of it, and he's doing it, and they're filming him as he's lifting the weights. He goes, "Who's gonna carry the bolts? And the logs?" And you watch this and you go, what moron finds this inspiring? Me, I'm the kind of moron who finds it inspiring. I should be in so many more pyramid schemes than I already am. Carry it in a life, maybe I'm like Dave Goggins. I like compete at jiu-jitsu. I was getting ready for a tournament one time, London Open. And the reason I don't mind if people get offended at comedy is because I get offended at things that I hear in a gym. When you're getting ready for a jiu-jitsu tournament, it's really important that you go train at other gyms so you don't get used to one philosophy of jiu-jitsu. I was at this other gym, rolled with everyone. I was just in the changing rooms on my own, in my boxers, on my phone. And this guy walked in, we'd rolled with each other, but we hadn't really spoke. And he walks in, and he goes, "Yo, what's up, my guy?" I went, "Oh, hey, mate." He starts getting his stuff. He went, "Yo, mate, mind if I ask you a very personal question?" Yeah, sure. "You on steroids?" Stop it. I got to, for the first time in my life, say something that every gym goer wants to say. I got to go, nah, bro. I'm natty, innit? Natural. And he went, "Good for you, my guy." And he starts getting changed. I went, "Hey, mate, do you mind if I ask you a question?" He went, "Nah, man, of course, go for it." I went, "Is my jiu-jitsu so good? You think I'm on performance-enhancing drugs?" He went, "Nah, you got tits." "Beg your pardon?" He went, "Yeah, you got gynecomastia." I went, "What's that?" He went, "It's breast development in men. It's very common in steroid users, those that take something like testosterone. Because what happens is you put an elevated level of testosterone in the body's very smart, self-regulates the amount of testosterone in it, goes up, it's too high, so your body stops producing it naturally. You run the cycle of testosterone for about 12 weeks, you come off it, no longer are you putting it in via chemical enhancement, and no longer is your body producing it naturally. However, the estrogen level remains the same, so you start to develop breasts. Gynecomastia, my guy." All right. I've never done steroids. I just have that for some fucked up reason. So I had to go home and Google why I have it. And it turns out when I was a teenager, I smoked so much chemically enhanced weed at a pubescent age that it stunted my test levels but raised my estrogen. I almost smoked myself trans. I was getting ready for that tournament. I was feeling good. I was going down from a heavyweight to a middleweight. I had to lose 9 kilograms in 6 weeks. You do that with this really cool thing called an eating disorder. About 2 weeks out from the tournament, I'm training about 6-7 times a week. Just dedicated to it, you know. I get up for my Friday early morning session. It's my last session of the week. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm done. I can do my shows that weekend. I wake up and I just don't want to go. I can feel my body going, "No, Elliot, you're tired. Stay in bed. Just get some more sleep." But that Dave Goggins video is there in my head. Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? I'm like, I am David. Maybe I've got what it takes to be a Navy SEAL and go commit war crimes in Fallujah. Get the bus to the gym, I get there, we start warming up. I'm not feeling quite right. We start drilling, I can't drill, I can't remember anything. And then we go live, start sparring, start rolling. I'm going with all these people who I usually do quite well against, and they're just beating me, taking me down, tapping me out. But I'm a martial artist. I've done this for 11 years. I'm a warrior. I know what to do in this situation. I found a guy whose first day it was, and I thought I'll fuck him up for a little bit. And then I'll go back over with these boys. So I go over to this guy, I'm like, "Hey mate, do you want to roll?" He went, "Yeah." I went, "We're going to start from standing. You ever wrestled before?" And he said the most Croydon response I've ever heard in my life. He went, "In a gym, nah, but on road, yeah." All right then, let's go. I'll take him down, tap him out a few times. There's still about 3 minutes left in a round, so we just keep resetting. And then he did a move which will win you a fight, but is technically illegal in the sport of jiu-jitsu, called kneeing me really hard in the balls. Like so hard that I just fall to the floor and I just start uncontrollably screaming. Like I've never felt pain like this before, but I'm in a gym full of alpha males, so they don't give a fuck. But then I threw up on the mat, so they suddenly cared. One of the fighters came over to me as I'm vomiting and went, hey, at least you're gonna make weight. I lie on the side of the gym for about 3 hours. I can't move, can't do anything. Eventually I get myself up, I hobble home, and I'm like, right, I'm just gonna get on with my weekend, it will be fine. Go do a show in Vauxhall that night, come back, get to bed, I wake up, and it's 3 p.m. And it's not like I've slept. I felt like I was unconscious. I don't feel good, but I had to go down to Bath to do a club called the Comedia. So I get the train down to Bath, and I'm just throwing up the whole way there. I don't feel good, I can't eat, drink, nothing. I get to the gig, and the staff see me, and they don't want to let me on stage because I'm just pale, but they couldn't get someone else to open the show in time, so they send me out, and I fucking die a death, right? Look, if you've not enjoyed me tonight, you are nothing compared to the people of Bath Comedia, who hated my guts so much that when Andrew Bird, the MC of the gig, went on afterwards and said what had happened to me the day before, one man shouted, "Good!" The staff are so lovely there that they're like, Elliot, we can't let you go home in this state. We've got a flat, please stay there. I stay in the flat, and I promised them the next day that I'd go to the hospital. So I get up, I go back to London. I'm like, I want to go to a hospital in London. I get back to London, go to the hospital. I get there, fill in a form, sat there for a few hours. And eventually this male nurse comes to see me. He asks me what's happened. I tell him what's happened. He goes, don't worry, Mr. Steele. We see this kind of thing all the time. You're in safe hands here. You're going to be okay. Takes me into this room, it's full of people, takes me behind this little curtain bit, drew the curtains, and he went, I am going to have a look at the impacted area, if that's okay with you. I was like, yeah, no problem. I dropped my trousers, I dropped my boxers, and a medical professional uttered the words, holy fuck! Why didn't you come here sooner, you psychopath? Burst out the curtains, leaving it open for everyone else now to look through. He comes back in, he goes, blood, urine test, now. I go, okay, we go do the blood and urine test. They come back clear. I go, that's good, right? He goes, no, that means it's internal bleeding. I go, oh, fuck. He goes, yeah, oh, fuck. We need to do an ultrasound immediately. I go, cool, let's do it. And then he went, ultrasound department's closed on Sundays. Because these scientists respect the Lord's Day, apparently. So I have to go home in this state and come back in early the next morning. And I knew I was in trouble because I went into the NHS and was seen immediately. I go do the ultrasound and they start scanning my testicles. They scan my left one at first. This is a textbook testicle, nothing wrong with it, all good. We're having a laugh in the room. I'm killing, selling tickets to shows, it's going great. They start scanning the right testicle, and the vibe in the room shifted. I'm no longer killing, I'm dying. It's like I'm back at Bath Comedia all over again. And anytime I ask what's going on, they don't tell me. And they go, you're gonna have to speak to the doctor about that. All right, cool. So I go down to see the doctor. I walk into the doctor's room. Now, with the NHS and people working it, they have to see the worst the world has to offer day to day. And they just come numb to it, right? It's just a job, eventually. But this doctor could have been a little bit more empathetic towards my situation and looked up from his phone when he went, yes, Mr. Steele, you can lead a perfectly normal life with one testicle. What? Looking at your ultrasound, we can't quite see what's going on in there, so we're going to have to do an emergency surgery. It's highly likely you're going to lose this testicle. Fuck that, you ain't doing the surgery. What happens if you don't do it? I'll be all right, right? Well, no, that'll get infected and you'll die. Cool by me? They then sit me down, him and this nurse, and start telling me all about this surgery and everything that could go wrong in it. And this story gets very embarrassing and way more embarrassing, but for some reason, this is the part that bothers me the most. It's because he went, we're going to have to make an incision on your scrotum. And I went, why have you got to go through the top of my dick? Turns out I didn't know where the scrotum was. I saw him just look at the nurse like, maybe it won't be such a bad thing if this guy can't breathe after all. I had another adult man look me in the eyes and say, there is a 5% chance you are going to live the rest of your life with chronic scrotal pain. And he went, but 5%, that's pretty low. I was like, my brother, you should see some of the accumulators I put on a weekend. 5%'s pretty high in my books. And the nurse can see that I'm freaking out, so she's trying to calm me down, and she went, hey, Elliot, just want to say, women love a good scar story. All right, Matt, how in this scenario does this go down? That I go to a bar one night, I see a lady who takes my fancy, I get chatting to her, I buy her a drink, she buys me a drink, it's going well, and then I go, hey, would you like to see my scar? And she goes, I'd love to see your scar. I then whip out my mutilated testicles and not expect her to immediately scream for Angela. The doctor then ushers me out of the room. He's like, go on, I've got other things to do, you fuck, get out of here. I go out of his room and the weight of the situation hits me, right? All of these times that I go do fighting and all of this stuff, but I do it to give a perception of masculinity that I probably didn't grow up with. Like, I want to be seen as tough and hard, and now it's costing me my manhood, trying to seem tough and hard, and it just got to me and I broke down and I started crying and I just sat against this wall, and then the doctor walked by and he saw me, and I think he realized the weight of the situation of what I was going through, and he looked at me and he came over and put his arm over me and I sobbed into his shoulder. And he went, I didn't realise you lost both your testicles already, you little noble bitch boy. No. He didn't say that. He said it with his eyes. The guy was the utmost professional. I'm sat there crying. I don't know who to tell, no one even knows. I don't want to tell my mum because she's going to panic and give me sympathy, and I don't work well with sympathy. I don't want to tell my dad because he's going to make it about a show he just did in Ludlow. I was like, who can I tell? And then I remembered I got my lads group chat with 8 other comedians in it. So I texted what had happened to me that weekend, sent it, and saw all of them typing immediately. And I wasn't at the best day of their sad little fucking lives. I had no idea there were so many videos of space hoppers exploding. And for an hour and a half, they rinsed me and roast me, and I started to feel better. I felt great, because they were making me laugh. People think when you've got a dark sense of humour, it comes from a place of hate. It doesn't. It comes from a place of love. There is nothing better than trying to make someone laugh in an inappropriate moment, and that's what they did. And I got up, and I went, all right, I'm feeling good now. This is the new fight. Whatever happens in this surgery happens. You've got to be stoic about it, and we're just going to have to move with it. And I started to feel good. Nah. Has anyone ever had the family dog put down? Yeah. And before you do it, you give it a last few good hours, don't you? And you stroke it. One last time. Because the sensation of stroking it's not going to be the same. See, this is what happens here. A few of you get ahead of the curve, and the rest of you go, why is he not finishing the story? What's this observational dead pet routine he started? Look, I pay my taxes. I think I'm well within my rights to go masturbate in King's College Hospital and give my right testicle a Viking's funeral, God damn it. Man, I'm jerking off and I'm looking at this testicle like George before he shoots Lenny, just... Now, this next bit of the show, I do have to give a trigger warning. We had a lot of people during the Edinburgh Fringe pass out, a lot of people in previews passed out. If you do not work well with gore, feel free to put your hands over your ears. Viewers at home, skip forward a little bit. I'll give you a minute. But after that, it's on you. I've done my duty. I came so much blood. It was like the elevator scene from The Shining. Like something out of a Rammstein video. You think you've had post-nut shame. You have not had post-nut shame until you've had to mop up your bloody cum from a government-funded building. And of course, I cleared it up, you know what I mean? I'm not a monster. You can't leave a disabled toilet looking like that in a hospital. Someone's going to go in after me and go, oh, I thought this was the toilet, but it's clearly where they do the abortions. That was the it's easy from here. I swear to God. I swear to God. It's easy from here. I hobble back down to where I was waiting for the surgery with a new sense of urgency, and I get there, I'm like, hey, when we're doing the surgery? And they were like, you're up in theatre next. And I was like, oh, I'll just give me the scalpel, I'll do it myself. Start prepping me for the surgery. I thought prepping me for the surgery would have consisted a little bit more than drawing an arrow on my leg pointing towards the testicle. And then when I went, why have you done that? They went, oh, so we don't take the wrong one. Doesn't fill you with confidence. I then go up to the theatre. There's like 9 people running around in there, and I just felt so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, they're all here because of my balls. I sit on this big bed. They put this mask on me. They make me count back from 10. I go 10, 9, 8, I'm out. Wake up about an hour later. I'm very discombobulated. Don't know where I am. Looking around the room. I'm coming to. I'm in a hospital. Why am I in a hospital? I went, oh yeah, my testicles. And I go, oh fuck. This could be it. This could be the start of my life as one testicle guy. That's what I'm going to be known as. That's how I'm going to be introduced at parties. I'm going to walk in and some guy I don't know go, oh, you're the guy with one testicle. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm like, I don't want to put my hand down there and feel, because that would have made it real. You know, I like living in this ambiguous moment for as long as I could, where I still potentially had both my testicles. Because if I put my hand down there and feel one testicle, that's it, I'm one testicle guy. But if I keep it up here, I still might have both of them. It's kind of like Schrodinger's bollock. And there's this nurse, and she's going over and checking everyone's charts. Eventually she gets over to me. And I went, nurse. She went, yes, Mr. Steele. How did the surgery go? I'm not the one at liberty to tell you, I'm afraid. I went, oh, okay. She went, but the surgeon would like to have a chat with you. I went, oh, cool. And then she went, no, not cool. The surgeon never talks to anyone post-surgery. And then, because it's the NHS, she just left. I was on some pretty strong painkillers, but that didn't stop the fear and anxiety suddenly swelling inside me. And they wheel me up to this room where I have to recover. I'm there for a little bit, and eventually the surgeon comes round. He comes in, he goes, Mr. Steele, surgeon, I went, how was the operation? He went, well, it was a success. Right, in what way? Do you ever realise someone thinks you're a fucking idiot? Because he got out a bit of A4 paper that he brought with him to do this demonstration, may I add. Where he scrunched up the paper, unscrunched it, and he went, that's your testicle. I went, right, I would have used words to describe this person. You took a big impact. You had a torsion, a rupture, an internal bleeding. Managed to open you up. It wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. We had to take a little bit of your testicle, but it still works fine. It's all good. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Well, no problem, that's our job. He went, may I just request that if you are going to compete at combat sports, maybe we should start wearing a cup. I was like, that's fair enough. Well, you know, yeah, you're allowed to come give me a talking to about that. They went, no, that's not quite what I'm here to talk about, Mr. Steele. I went, oh, right. I went, right. So you see on the ultrasound, we couldn't quite see what the problem there was because of the amount of blood that had poured into your testicle. But when we opened you up, there was little to none there. And me and my colleagues are just wondering if you'd happen to know anything about that. Well, God works in mysterious ways, don't he? How good is your doctor-patient confidentiality? Is there something you'd like to tell me, Mr. Steele? Have you ever had the family dog put that... Before you do it, you give it its favourite meal and you stroke it one last time, because stroking it might not... what are you talking about? Okay, look, man to man, guy to guy, say you thought you were about to lose your testicle, would you not go give it one last hurrah? Because the sensation might never feel the same again. Well, no, that's anatomically impossible. Well, I'm not the fucking surgeon, am I? Look, I kind of went, I swear to God, I cleaned everything up. I'm not a monster. I kind of went and masturbated in the disabled toilets. It was a stressful time. And I swear I cleaned it all up, and I'm really sorry. And this surgeon, just the blood drained from his face. Do you know what you've got to do to make a surgeon look sick? He just went, Elliot, you had a rupture, a torsion, and internal bleeding. How did you get through the pain threshold to finish such an act? Well, who's gonna carry the boats? And the logs.
Carry the boats in the morning.